It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Hello and welcome to the Divas That Care Network. We are your Shine Sisters. I am Juliana Mello.
And I'm Debbie Levinsky.
And we're really happy to be here today with all of you. We want to welcome and thank all of our listeners on live and those that are going to listen later. This is our very first podcast, although it's not our very first live that we've ever done. Good morning, dear Debbie. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
February the 1st.
New energy. Don't you love it?
I really do. I really do. I was like, thank goodness January is over. January tends to be a long month. I'm not sure why.
I didn't have that experience. I actually felt very uplifted, very excited. And I think it went so fast. I was just talking to Leighton, my son, yesterday in the car, and I was like, I can't believe January's over. Where'd it go?
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
Lucky you. I had amazing things happen in January, but it just felt, maybe because it's the post-Christmas, there's that lull after Christmas. And even though I had a goddess event on the 21st, it was a great month. I'm just happy to be in a brand new month. I love brand new energy, and that's what February 1st affords us. And so welcome to February, everybody.
Welcome.
You're in for a treat today. Debbie and I have joined the Divas That Care Network, and we're going to start by sharing about why we're the Shine Sisters.
Oh, you're going to have me do it. Okay. Well, the Shine Sisters. Okay. Why the Shine Sisters? Well, first off, let's back up a little bit and let's talk about what shine really means to each of us. And then how that brings us together and how that really connected us through our hearts to each other. So I'll go first. Shining to me is about showing up. It's about showing up authentically, showing up unapologetically, I guess. And that's the same to me as authentically. Really, truly self-confidence, believing in yourself. And even if you don't believe in yourself in the moment, you do it anyways, because you know after you've gotten when you just feel like I did it, you shine. It raises our vibration. It helps us up level our souls, I feel like, just to another level. And so that's my plus I love to dress in bright colors, which helps me shine, which then raises my vibration. So I would say raising my vibration and doing things that may be challenging, but I do them anyways. So I know that my soul can go to the next level and start learning another lesson. And sometimes it has to go on repeat, which helps me shine even brighter.
Exactly. I love that so much. So while you were talking, a little song came in my head, that little ditty. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And so for me, it's recognizing that we are a spirit embodied, that we have this light in the goddess world. We call it our eternal flame. And you are absolutely right. It's being the authentic you without a mask, showing up and allowing others to connect to your heart energy, but also to your truth in the highest and greatest good. Mm-hmm. And being out there shining, to me, means that you are raising your vibration, that you are affecting the world in a positive way. Mm-hmm. Now, that doesn't mean, I do want to quantify that. That doesn't necessarily mean being all pious. It means being you authentically, even like you were saying, Debbie, when you have to do things on repeat, that means that we haven't quite learned the lesson yet. and we can still be shining our light while healing our stuff. And that's what I love about being a Shine Sister with you. I love that you asked us to, share what shine means to each of us. And I think that's why we do shine better together.
Mhm.
And maybe we can share with our listeners how we met.
I would love to, because I feel like, so yes, I would love to. Let's do that. There's so many thoughts going through my
Yeah,
head.
so maybe if you could start, that would be lovely.
Well, one of the main places that we met each other as at a healing retreat. And we all had also met through our friend Vicky, who is now in heaven. It's since I think about 5 years now.
Yeah, I think it'll be 5 years in March.
And what's interesting is I know that she's here, and that the reason why I know that is because you showed me the hummingbird card that came up for you yesterday, which is about joy. And that was the constant conversation we were having. Even if we were venting, griping, going through emotional turmoils together during our accountability, we would always encourage each other to find the joy of the situation and how to get through that quicker. And that's what accountability. So we met each other through a healing retreat, which is phenomenal. But then we've also expanded beyond that and met, and then ended up going to California to an angel camp, which really just amplified our relationship more. But then I believe during our accountability is when we really become like soul sisters, heartfelt, trust, building that accountability, that trust that I can share, and I am not afraid to speak my truth. And that is not an easy relationship to culminate or cultivate. So that's just a couple things. I want you to be able to share your experience.
Yeah, I loved being at that healing retreat. We were roommates, and we had been with part of the original team, mentorship team. One of her sisters came, and they only entrusted us with her. So, we had a really beautiful bond. When you deep dive into healing and you share part of your soul, there is a sacredness that is cultivated. Like you said, I'm getting all goddess bumps right now, because we did heal our inner little girls together. And I'm so grateful that the hummingbird did come up yesterday, because when we were talking about what should we talk about on our first podcast, we said, should we talk about our accountability partnership? And we were the three amigos. And losing her, I think, made us go deeper.
Absolutely.
It was really hard on both of us. We each had unique relationships with her, and then we had a combined relationship with her. And when you heal in these sacred spaces together, there is a sacred bond that is created. And it's hard to put into words. So I'm going to ask our listeners right now to maybe just put a hand on your heart and feel mine and Debbie's words. Our relationship isn't just one of friendship. It really is one of soul sisterhood, and in learning and growing and healing together. And that does mean that there were days that we projected our stuff on each other. And through the power of love, we have healed it, and we promised each other not to hurt each other intentionally. And that, to me, is what a true soul sister is. And when we decided that we wanted to work together, I think the Shine Sisters just sort of evolved as we evolved.
Yeah. And I think just words that people would say about us, right? Like, boy, you two, when you get together, I mean, you shine on your own individually, but when you get together, it's almost like an additional spark that comes out of the two of you. And it just amplifies things and wisdom and things that spirit is just bringing our way. And it just like fireworks in such a magical way. And both of us feel it every single time we finish up with our discussions and stuff. And so that's where the Shine Sisters was because of all of you seeing us and recognizing us for what we're showing up to do, which is to shine our light. And sometimes shining your light is really scary. And we talk about our vulnerabilities, and we talk about some really upsets that we have in our lives, and how we walk through those.
Right.
That are just merely set up by spirit, and God is helping us do that. The divine is there for us. So,
and I love, Deb, that we've shared so many teachers in common, that our growth has had such a symbiotic journey, and that there's been so much love that even I'm in Calgary, Alberta, you're in Anthem, Arizona. Yep. And I've had the blessing of coming to Arizona now, I think 12 or 13 times, because I love the energy down there. I love having stayed with you and meeting your beautiful husband and family. And it's just been an amazing garden to grow in. I also want to say, Debbie and I dig very deep. And today, even though our podcast is lighter, we are not afraid to touch on hard subjects. We are both married. We both have children. We both are women that are growing. Debbie is younger than me. And so, we recognize that life is a journey, a pathway, right, Deb?
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful that in 2000, I think it was 14 when we met, that I don't have to do my path on my own anymore. That you're not a crutch, but you're definitely a support. Right. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that we have come together, and now we are just expanding even more, becoming the Shine Sisters, and really taking that energy on and allowing ourselves to shine even more, and speaking our truth, and speaking about angels and about spirit and about goddesses. And that's what this is going to be all about. This is the beginning of really, really sharing our path, and where we're going now, not where we've been in the past. I mean, every once in a while we'll sprinkle in those things, but this is really about a new adventure that we are starting together. What I just got a vision of is the Wizard of Oz. Like, we're both Dorothy's, and we both have our sparkly shoes on, and we're going to skip down that yellow brick road together. And we're both on that equal path, no matter age or wisdom or level of where we're at in life. We're coming together, and we're going to go down that path together. And we're inviting you guys to go with us.
So I love that.
So excited.
Yes. So join us on this beautiful yellow brick road. I love that you had that vision, because yellow is all the color of joy and creation. And I mean, it's the color of the sun. And that is an amazing start to journey with us. We're going to talk about all things spirit. Debbie and I have a really unique magic that happens when we come together. We really feel comfortable with each other. We have learned and grown and are open to more growth together in terms of speaking. It was interesting because a month ago, Debbie said to me, Jules, I really want to do a podcast. So then again, last week, she mentioned it. Jules, remember about the podcast? And I said to her, well, I'll figure it out and I'll join you. And then when Candace had on the Divas That Care network about looking for new hosts, I said, I'm interested. And we had our meeting the other day. And as we were talking, I said, does it need to be one person, or can it be the Shine Sisters? And when I showed her one of our videos, she loved the concept, said there was nobody else doing anything like us. There was similar, the metaphysical people. Is it a mother and daughter?
Mother and daughter duo.
Yeah. And so we're really open to growing. We hope that once you hear this podcast, that if you need to contact us, you will let us know what you'd like to hear. Debbie and I are angel intuitives, spiritual teachers, speakers, authors. We've been in many multi-author compilations. We've created many different things, and we are open to being of support in the highest and greatest good of our listeners. Each week, we will share cards, a message to guide you. Today is February the 1st. So I thought that was there anything else that you wanted to mention, dear Debbie, about how we met or the pathway? I'm hearing the pathway to joy is through the heart. It's been a big mantra of mine of late, and it really
write that down, because if you think about what you just said and you notice the colors that you and I chose, which was, and you guys can look at our image that we created, we chose pink and yellow. And I wore yellow, she wore pink, but we both love both colors, and those signify self-love and joy. And I love that we're being guided, and this is completely, again, spirit driven, because this isn't what we said we were necessarily going to talk about. So I love that we're getting the wisdom flowing through us as we speak. It's just that validation. We started with a thought, putting it out there about a podcast, and then waiting for something to show up, and it showed up, and then saying yes to that, and then choosing our colors, and then taking our images, and now spirit's giving us the next step. And I remember our mentor telling us, because having our mentorship, we kept asking, when am I going to get the next sign? When am I going to get the next sign of what I'm supposed to be doing? Why am I here? And I'm seeing this, and I'm getting goosebumps right now. Just my entire body is just, and it's just like, okay, I'm finally feeling like this is how it works. If you don't force it and you just put it out there and you set the intention that this is truly, truly passionately what we want, then it will come to us when it's correct to us. And it's coming today. And I'm so excited that it's coming today on February 1st, because 1 is all about new beginnings. Like, you just can't make this up.
I know, right? That's why when I said, let's do it sooner than later, we already had our live booked for today. I said, let's do it via Zoom. Let's learn how to send it out to Facebook. Let's send it to Candace, and let's start. And we want our listeners to also know that we're still going to continue to nurture on our page on Facebook, The Shine Sisters with Debbie Lubinsky and Juliana Mello. So please be sure to give us a like over there. Check us out. Debbie and I are soulpreneurs. And what that means is we're not a regular entrepreneur. We are spirit guided. We allow that energy to flow to us and through us, and then allowing our light to shine out into the world in helping you bring through messages of love, light, joy, peace, motivation, inspiration. I am more intuitive. Debbie is more mediumship. And that's what I love, because we create this safe container that our clients really love in order to amp up. It's not a regular reading. That's why we're calling them spiritual wellness sessions. And you get a little bit of everything that we've gone through. And until you're in that sacred space, it's really hard to articulate exactly all the gifts that you get. So we start it with an oracle card reading and then expand on that. If any loved ones come through, Debbie has the ability to discern that. I can feel, but I don't necessarily, I'm not trained yet in mediumship as Debbie is. And so you're really getting a beautiful, beautiful offering.
Well-rounded.
Yeah.
Reading.
And shining, that saying, we're all just walking each other home. We all have that eternal flame within us. We all have a light. And, I'm seeing the angels are saying, you don't want to extinguish anybody else's light. We shine brighter together. Mm-hmm. And so, if you want, sometime we may bring on guests on the show. We're really open to all of it. Debbie and I have really explored a lot, and we would love to learn and grow with all of you. So with that being said, I would love to switch gears and have Debbie pull us a card for the day. And then I'm going to close with St. Bridget, because it is February the 1st with Imbolc, and I'd love to close with that. But in the meantime, I would love Debbie to share a beautiful card for us today.
Okay, so I went ahead and picked the butterfly,
I love it.
the butterfly deck. And it's for life changes. So it was very symbolic. Butterflies are my favorite spirit animal. One of my favorite. I can't ever choose just one. But anyways, it's what I feel like connects to spirit. And so the card that I just pulled to start us out is motivation. And I want you please to notice the colors, the pink and yellow flower, and how the butterfly is receiving nourishment and that extra motivation from that beautiful flower. So what I would like to do is read a little bit just from the guidebook. But what I'm feeling is this is about new beginnings, keeping that momentum, trusting in spirit that you are meant to be doing whatever your heart is desiring to do in that moment. If I ask you that question, what are you in need of motivation for? What are you feeling so passionate about? That desire in your heart, not in your mind, but in your heart. And what do you need from spirit? Ask, and they are here to nourish you, just like the flower is for the butterfly. I don't even think I need to read the guidebook because I feel like that is what spirit wanted me to speak to you all, is nourishment, motivation. Motivation comes from feeling good, feeling recognized, feeling that excitement, feeling that passion. Once we feel and be careful who you share all of your passions and desires with. Like we were talking about a moment ago, and it's funny because I saw this quote, and I'm terrible at regurgitating other people's quotes, but basically it was, if you feel like someone might blow out your candle, don't share your candle with them. Like, don't share your gift with them. Don't share your ideas with them because they may blow that out. They may extinguish that excitement. And that's when you use your journal and you speak to your spirit guides and your angels and the goddesses and whatever higher spirit that you feel guided to. Speak to them. But make sure you're not only just speaking, because that's what I was brought up with. Prayer is speaking to spirit, but also getting yourself very still and quiet and being open to receive. And that's where the nourishment comes from. And that's the symbiotic experience that this butterfly and flower are having. And that in itself will give this butterfly the motivation that it's been praying for and asking for. So I hope that inspires you to really, truly trust in your own abilities and your own intuition and your own connection to your higher self and the higher spirit.
I love that. Thank you so much. It's perfect in line with the new energy of February. In fact, my angels did guide me this morning to relook at what are my intentions? How was January? Did I bring in that which I desire? Really getting clear and focused, and that motivation is what's going to propel us forward. I love, Debbie, that you shared the colors of the flower are pink and yellow, everybody, just like Debbie and I. Those are our colors on the podcast, pink being love, yellow being that light, and the butterfly is getting nourishment, like Debbie said. So I love that. Thank you for that beautiful offering today, dear Debbie.
Thank you.
Before we close, I want to share that February the 1st is Imbolc, which marks the halfway point between the darkness of winter and the light of spring. The first signs of rebirth begin to emerge as the leaves start to sprout and herding animals prepare to give birth. So again, that motivation to birth what you desire, right? To be pregnant with possibility. I'll never forget being at Oprah, and I remembered Reverend T.D. Jakes was there, and I was with my mom, and Reverend T.D. Jakes said, "You're all pregnant with possibility." And I looked at my mom and I thought he was crazy, man, because I didn't understand. I did not have the spiritual awareness of being pregnant with possibility. However, Debbie's card leads us to being motivated. What is driving you right now? What seeds do you want to plant so that you're reaping them in the fall? Really sit with that and write it down. Debbie said, pull out the journal. I couldn't agree more. The journal is going to be your friend as you share and learn and grow with the Shine Sisters. We're going to help you burn away the old and help you birth the new. Hang out with us. We'd love to support your growth. Today is Dear Bridget Day. Bridget in English, or Briege in Irish, is the Irish goddess of fire, water, healing, and medicine, poetry, and smithcraft. Her name means fiery arrow. Legend says that when she was born, a flame reached from her head to the heavens. Her feast day is today, February the 1st, and you may be listening to this after, but you can still tap into the energy of this beautiful first day of February. It heralds the beginning of spring. Her symbols are thresholds, the hearth, sparks and flames, holy wells, snowdrops, and the bride's cross made of reeds. If you don't know who she is, I strongly encourage you to go and look, because she's the Celtic goddess of the flame, and the well has arrived to take you across the threshold. And you need to be motivated to take that divine action to bring in. Look, this is a symbiotic relationship with the divine, aligning with the divine, aligning with spirit. We hope that as you journey with the Shine Sisters, that you gain tips and tools to help you go out into the world and shine your light where you are, and together we'll shine brighter. To close today, I'd love to do an invocation. If you'd love to put a hand on your heart and close your eyes and just receive. I stand in the center of the wheel, Bridget, and I ask for your wisdom, your guidance, and your blessings. I turn to the east and call it in. Cool air, a fresh breath of wisdom, a sigh of release and freedom, the whisper of your poetry on the wind. I turn to the south and call it in. The brightness of new ideas, the warmth of the sun, your fiery forge of transformation, the heat of my own skin. I turn to the west and call it in. The rainfall, the sweep of the river, the healing waters of your well, the swift hum of blood in my veins. I turn to the north and call it in. The solidness of stone, the grand arc of the trees against the sky, the steady heart of your sacred oak, the anchoring of my own feet on this beautiful sacred ground. Thank you, dear Bridget, and blessed be, my friends. Any closing words, dear Debbie?
I just want to invite everyone. I get very strong vibes that our journey, just imagine each time you join us, that you are linking arms with us and just taking that next step down the yellow brick road, just like in Wizard of Oz, where each time she met different friends and invited them along her path. And then they all received gifts from each other. And I know that this journey is going to support each and every person that joins in with us, that we are going to link arms and we are just going to create an even larger connection, an even higher vibration, so we can support and heal our world as well as the world outside of us. So thank you for being part of this with us.
I love that. On behalf of myself, Juliana Mello,
and Debbie Levinsky,
your Shine Sisters, we will see you and you will hear us again next time on the Divas That Care. Be sure to tune in, everybody. Thank you, and blessed be to each of you.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, And of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.